Are you looking to step up your board gaming experience by going from the printed 2D tiles standard to the Settlers game and switch it up to a 3D version complete with small trees but still very playable? If so, listen on. This is OK Miniatures. Please enjoy this video. So to make the Forrest tile, do the same things as we did with the farm tile last week. I cut out the hexagon using my template from Blackmagic Craft, right here, and then I coated it with a mixture of paint and Mod Podge. It makes a gray version of Mod Podge. And now I'm going to give it a nice base coat with just a green craft paint. This is the paint that I use, just a foliage color, nothing too particular, and I'll just give that a base coat. While I'm waiting for the base coat to dry, I'm gonna work on some little trees. So I'm gonna use some toothpicks, and I'm just gonna paint the toothpick green so that there's no obvious wood showing through later. The goal is to make a tree sort of like this with some flocking glued onto the toothpick. These ones are still in progress and I'm doing some experimentation. So we're just going to start out with painting a number of toothpicks green. I like to use a piece of scrap foam just to poke the toothpick in. It does a nice job of just holding the toothpick up while it dries. So while the paint is drying on the base, I'm going to finish up these trees. So what I did a test piece earlier. We're just going to take a toothpick, dip it in the glue, PVA glue, and I'll wipe off some of that extra goop. And then I'm going to dip it into my homemade sawdust flocking. And yeah, I'm just going to do that with all my toothpicks. So now that the tile's dry, I'm going to put some PVA glue on so that we can stick some flocking on it. I have some thinner, finer flocking made from sawdust I'm going to use for a sort of ground cover to give the feel of bushes and grass. I'll probably include a little bit of a bumpier sawdust like this one has to make it seem like there's some bigger bushes and stuff. So just do that real quick. Just want to be very careful to make sure we get all the corners so that everything has flocking on it. I'm going to do a little bit of the bigger flocking first. Try not to go too close to the edge, since in Settlers we're going to have to put roads and stuff along there. That way it's still playable. And now, shake off some of the loose bits, and then I'm going to sprinkle fine stuff over. Let me tap off any extra. I'm going to add a little bit more on. And it looks pretty good to me. The little bits of white glue will dry clear, so that's not a problem at all. While that dries, I want to finish up these trees, so I already dipped them in flocking to give them a little tree texture. Now they're pretty fragile. If you touch them, some of the flocking kind of falls off. I did some experiments. One solution is to mix the flocking with glue before putting it on the toothpick, which is difficult to put on the toothpick, but it's very stiff and hard. The other way I did was I dipped or painted PVA glue on the tree on the flocking after it dried for a second layer, and that worked very well. So I did with these ones. So I'm going to do that with my new set of trees. I'm just going to paint on some PVA glue. So the tile is not quite dry, but it's mostly dry, so I'm just going to go on to the next step. Just like I did with the trees, I'm going to just cover everything with more PVA glue to hold it all together so nothing falls off. The trees also are drying quite nicely. The flocking gets a little matted down, but I think that looks kind of nice. I think this would have worked a lot better if I had waited for it to dry. A lot of the flocking is trying to move around as I add glue. Yeah, this will probably work, but it would have been a lot easier if I had waited. Also, don't use your nice brush for this. Flocking all gets in there. And it's PVA glue, so it washes out pretty well, but it just doesn't seem like the best thing to use a nice brush for. And now we're just going to let everything dry nicely overnight. So I let everything dry overnight, and these trees are looking pretty good. And the tile is also looking quite nice. So now I'm just going to trimmed these trees off so that they don't stick through the tile here. And I made them different heights to give variation and interest. And I'm just going to poke them around into this tile. And there we go. I did add a little bit of glue to one of these trees, since when I tried to punch the splintered end of the toothpick in, it pulled a big chunk of foam and pushed a big chunk of foam in with it. So I added some glue to hold that, since it was a little loose. But all the other ones are pretty stiff on their own. And I also, as you probably noticed, I used the pointy end of one of these extra toothpicks to poke holes for most of the trees. But that's pretty good. I did leave the center open so that for settlers I can put the little circle in the middle, and also there's not too many trees, so that for a game like Scythe there's room to put the models on the tile. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this helpful. If you did, please leave a like and comment. They help out the channel and I really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, comment down below saying what you want to see, and also subscribe with notifications on, and then you can get a notification whenever a new video gets posted. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the future. Bye.